When you think of home, home can mean a lot of things to different people. Tonight we have the story of a man who was born and raised in Athens, Tennessee. He left to go fight in Europe in the 1940s. But then when the war was over, he came right back to the exact place he left. A lot has changed since the 1940s. But there are some things that have been here the whole time. Charlie Hennessee, right?
Right.
Spell your last name for us.
H-E-W-N-E-S-S-E.
Mr. Hennessee has lived here most of his life. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Right here on this farm.
He was drafted into the Army in 1942. He was sent to Miami Beach, Florida for basic training.
And I thought the Army was going to be the stuff. As I found out, it changed right quick.
On October 15, 1943, he landed in England. He was assigned to the 9th Air Force as a supply hauler. That was 8 months before D-Day.
I drove a 2.5-ton 6x6 truck and hauled mostly explosives.
He said they hauled everything the 9th Air Force used, and as the Allied forces marched across France and Europe, Mr. Hennessee was driving supplies to the front lines.
In 11 months, we went from Normandy through France, through Belgium, through Holland, and through Germany to Berlin in 11 months.
He would drive supplies in, then take a load of German prisoners out, back to France. He did that until the war in Europe was over.
Always great. We got it out, used all of our flare guns and all, and shot them in there, celebrated.
But that celebration didn't last long. A couple of months later, they put Mr. Hennessee on a ship to Japan. But before the first day at sea was over, they announced instead he was going back to America. Japan had surrendered.
They had a big meal cooked up when we got to New York, and a big band met us out in the ocean. Some feeling.
He came back to Athens, bought the family farm from his father, but he described how he felt when he came home, a feeling of restlessness, as if he was looking for something.
He wasn't satisfied no more. I'd come here and stay 10 minutes and go to town. Get to town, wasn't nothing there. Come back here. Took a long time to get over it.
He says at times the war was very scary. He says he was surrounded for 5 days during the Battle of the Bulge, but finally made it out. He's lived the last 70 years with hearing loss from the bombing during the fighting. Mr. Hennessee says he's always looked at his service like he had a job to do.
I've done my job, done the best I could.
Mr. Hennessee has done a lot of different things since the war. He has farmed, he has trained bird dogs, he drove a school bus, worked at Mayfield Creamery for 11 years. He and his wife Betty have a big family, 7 children, 7 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren. Charlie Hennessee is now 95 years old.